Jestem Holly, govorim malo slovensko.
Holly, it's great to see you back in Cardiff again. You were the first from music to go to Ljubljana in Slovenia, and you studied there for a year. You also made some commitment to understand and get used to the language when you first travelled over there. You went a month before so you could roll on a language course. So tell me about getting to grips with Slovenian and getting to grips with a new city.
Slovenian was quite a challenge because it's a Slavic language and it's very different to something I've ever learned before. But when I got there, there was like 150 Erasmus students, and we had an intense 3-week course. But every morning we were going to school, and the afternoons we had free, so that gave us a chance to go around the city.
Yes.
And because we were all in different classes, we got to make like a big group of friends, and everybody was doing everything together, and it was really nice. And I'd really recommend doing it because it really helped me when I was in the supermarket for the first time. I was so confused. I had no idea what I was buying.
Yes.
But then from the course, I knew what tomatoes were, what everything was, and how to ask for things in the shops, and ordering food.
So you were practicing your language in a very practical sense.
Yeah, we were going to the course and they were teaching us things like how to order coffee, how to do this, and then we would go and do that. We'd go after school, have lunch together, order things.
Yes.
And it was very active. And the teachers were always helping us. We'd ask them, we don't know what to go for this, we don't know what to do for this, and every time they were recommending us things to do, they were helping us, like taking us to places around the city, and it was really nice that it helped us it really helped us get used to the city.
And of course that's part of an induction, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's incredibly helpful, not only within the campus are they helping you out, but outside as well. Tell me also about your accommodation as well that you had.
I was quite afraid at first because I had to share a room, which was very different, but it's very common there. But everything was fine. I had a flat between 4, kitchen, so there was 2 shared rooms, kitchen and bathroom, which were shared. But I really recommend staying there because in my block it was full of Erasmus students, so I had people on the floor above me that I knew below me, so I felt like I was surrounded by people I knew.
Yes.
And then the block next to mine was full of my friends as well, so
wonderful.
I knew people there.
Yes.
There was a gym there,
Yes.
and you had free sports.
Right, okay.
And there's a canteen and a shop and everything. So, and it was only 15 minutes from my faculty walking.
Okay, so you had a wonderful use of facilities. You felt part of a community very early on. And you said one of the other keys was the social media.
Oh yeah.
That you could really exploit.
Even before I went, there was Facebook groups, WhatsApp chats. So everybody was every day saying, "Oh, who wants to meet here? Who wants to meet here?" And even for people that didn't take the language course, they could come and join the groups and join the people.
Yes.
And on the groups, the people were saying, "Oh, this weekend I'm thinking of going here for a trip. Does anybody want to join me?
Right.
I have a car, blah, blah, blah."
Okay, so in terms of the accommodation, in terms of the food, in terms of the travel, would you say it's generally cheaper or on a par with the UK?
It's a lot cheaper.
It's a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
So living expenses in Ljubljana compared to Cardiff, it's cheaper?
The rent's like €150 cheaper.
Right, okay. That's wonderful for future students to hear who might go. In terms of the provision for students to eat out, to buy food, there were fantastic deals.
Yeah, as a student you got student coupons.
Right.
So, I don't know, I think you got about 30 a month. So you could every day eat out in a restaurant and pay €2 to €4, and you'd get soup, salad, main dish, and sometimes a dessert or fruit. And in some places you even get free food, and it was really great.
Right.
And even, I don't know, going out for a coffee was like €1.20, ice cream €1. It's very different here.
Yes.
And really great.
Yes. I mean, in terms of, did you have your parents come out as well? Were they able to see the city?
Yeah, they came out.
And I'm sure they appreciated the low cost.
Yeah, they loved it.
Yes.
They were in shock. And my friends came too, and they were like, "Wow, they were saying to me, "How much money should I bring? Should I bring all this money?" I said, no, don't bring that much money.
The photos you sent back to the school showed a lot of travel that you did within Slovenia. Tell me about some of the places.
So although Slovenia is small, there's the mountains, which are part of the Alps, and then there's these 2 big lakes, which are really beautiful. So I think, we went there. I went there once with my friends, and then when my parents came, we went there again because it's so beautiful. And then we actually went on quite a few hiking trips.
Right.
because there's so many mountains you can hike up.
Yes.
And then there's lots of small cities, and there's in February there's this huge carnival,
Right.
and we went to this small town which is very traditional,
Yes.
and we went there, and it was really exciting. And there's
Yes.
also, I think, 42 kilometres of coast.
Right. Okay. Well, I thought it was landlocked. Okay.
No, there is a little bit of coast, and we went there, and it's really beautiful. And that part of Slovenia is very much like Italy because it's on the border to Italy.
Yes.
And then actually when it was snowing, so one of the good things about Erasmus is there's a lot of Erasmus groups, and they created lots of trips.
Yes.
So we went on a husky sledging trip,
Right.
and it was about, I don't know, minus 16 degrees in the snow, and we went in this huge coach, and we went and met these huskies, and that was really cool.
Oh, wonderful. And then that would have been free, I'd imagine, if it was put on.
It was a
by the
small
Erasmus.
price.
Right, okay.
But actually my faculty, they had a few free trips.
Yes.
So once I went to this castle in the cliff,
Yes.
and to a lake, and actually there's some underground caves. There's 2 huge caves in Slovenia,
Right.
and they paid for us to go and see them.
Yes.
And there's a train underground,
Yes.
and it was really,
Yes.
really cool.
Do you feel you might return to the country?
I'd love to go back.
Yes,
Yeah, I
sure.
feel like maybe I've seen more of Slovenia than England because it's so small.
Yes. And then, of course, you start your modules. You have a very interesting selection of modules across the whole year. But in terms of how you adjusted to that, new ways of teaching, new ways of being assessed, how did you find things?
It was a bit of a shock because in the classroom, my professor, I took a lot of his modules because he was happy to teach in English.
Yes.
But sometimes he would speak in Slovenian for the Slovenian students and English for the English students.
Yes.
But his approach to teaching was really interesting because we had people from Turkey, America, China, we had me from England,
Yes.
and he would get us to present our countries, present things. So my friend from Turkey, he was presenting a Turkish instrument.
Right.
I sung an English folk song,
Yes.
and I spoke about Welsh music as well.
Okay. Oh, wonderful.
Um,
So indigenous music to help
Yeah,
with
he
communication
really
barriers, but
wants us
everything's
to-
taught in English, isn't it?
Yeah, he wanted us to be active
Yes.
as the students, and then he
Yes.
got all the Slovenian students to present about their music. So someone was presenting about traditional Slovenian dances, then hip hop in Slovenia. It was really interesting. He got
Yes.
us really active, but it was very strange because we had midterm exams, which I hadn't experienced before,
No.
and then we had oral exams. The exams were oral,
Okay.
which was completely new to me.
So that was dictation you had to write down?
No, it was speaking with a professor.
Oh, I see.
We had to
Okay.
discuss the
Yes.
readings, discuss everything.
Yes. In terms of other areas like psychology was a real interest of yours, and also more specialised areas of ethnomusicology and some of the history of Slovenia
Yeah.
courses.
The psychology of music was really interesting because I'm thinking of going to music therapy.
Okay.
So it was really nice to study that. And then we looked at traditional Slovenian music,
Yes.
which was really exciting and strange because I'd never experienced this before. And
No.
I also had a module in popular music, which I know I've studied a bit here, but the good thing about my professor is he took everything we were learning, but he would apply it to Slovenia
Yes.
and former Yugoslavia as something I never knew before, and it really opened my mind as how Slovenia was part of Yugoslavia, and there's a lot
Yes.
about, I learned a lot about this, and
Yes.
he'd speak about what was happening in America and England,
Yeah,
and then
yes.
he'd apply it to what was happening in Yugoslavia at the same
Yes.
time. So I learned so much about this.
So in terms of understanding music in a political context and a social context.
Yeah, and just what was happening on the other side of Europe
Yes.
was
Yes.
really fascinating.
Yes.
And we had one professor who was from Sri Lanka as well, and
Yes.
she did a lecture about Sri Lankan music,
Yes.
and that was really great too.
Yes. Yes. And in terms of your performance and your composition, the two areas you want to specialise in your final year, did you feel that you were well served by your experience in Ljubljana?
Yeah, I had lessons, and yeah, it was really nice to have, I don't know, a different viewpoint on that. And
And that was in the conservatoire, so you had a flute teacher in the conservatoire.
yeah, and she introduced me to a lot of Slovenian flute music
Yes.
and this Bosnian piece, which I really want to play in my recital
Yes,
next year.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
And did you have to go to the conservatoire or to her house, or?
No, I
what
went to the
did you do?
conservatoire every week.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Were you able to also hear other performers there, not only flautists, but if there was an orchestra there or chamber groups?
Yeah, I would go to some concerts that were going on
Yes.
whenever.
And interestingly, Holly, one of the things I know from when you were sending material back for the blog that we put on our website, you mentioned the open mic sessions that you regularly did in Ljubljana.
Yeah, because there are choirs and orchestras, and I did join a choir, but some things were not advertised as much to Erasmus students.
Yes.
So I thought, okay, what can I do? And then my friend said, oh, there's an open mic night. So we were going every week.
Yes.
We were writing songs
Yes.
and then going, because I missed performing every week like I did here, and I tried to find a way I could do that.
Yes. So that integrates your skills as a composer and a performer.
Yeah.
And where was it taking place?
It was just in this bar in Ljubljana. It was sort of underground.
Yes.
And it was really fascinating.
Yeah, it's a very cultured bar.
Yeah, we just went, and I don't know, I was speaking to Slovenian writers. There was this guy I spoke to, and he was like, oh yeah, I'm in this band in Slovenia. And I was like, wow, okay. And the guy that runs it he's a teacher at the British International School in Ljubljana.
Right.
And he was incredible, and he was always like, oh, come, and encouraging.
Yes. I've done some similar work when I was younger, playing in hotels and bars, and it's a wonderful way of getting used to performing and getting used to managing your nerves, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you have to captivate an audience, plus you have to seem very assured as well in front of them.
Yeah.
Did you find that you got better at sort of handling more challenging situations as a performer from the open mic sessions?
Yeah, because sometimes people don't listen to you. They'll just be with their drink and not paying attention. But one week I was like, okay, no one's paying attention. So the next week I took my flute.
Yes.
And me and my friend were playing the flute.
Yes.
And then they hadn't seen it before. And I was like, what?
Yes.
This is different.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you're mentioning in terms of coming back for your final year, possibly looking at some music therapy, or that could possibly be something that you do as a career, a longer term goal. But the ethnomusicology that you were introduced to in Ljubljana, you're also thinking of specialising in a final project.
Yeah, for my dissertation or project in ethnomusicology, I'd love to write about Slovenian music.
Yes.
As I was saying about with the Yugoslavia and Slovenia, I think it would be really interesting to write something about this, and I'd really like to do that.
And it's good you've already sampled some of the literature, and you've also been taught by experts in that field.
Yeah, and I have the contacts. So I was speaking to my professors. I was saying, I'm thinking of writing about Slovenian music, and they said, just send me an email, send me something if you want any help, if you want anything. So it's really nice to know that I have the connections there if I need any help.
Yes, and that would be fantastic, won't it? As you have obviously a supervisor here, you have a coordinator taking a dissertation and final project sessions, and then you can call upon the help back in the University of Ljubljana. In terms of the travel you did as well, you mentioned early on in your time in Slovenia you were able to go around the country, but at later periods you were able to go even further afield into neighbouring countries.
Yeah, the great thing about Slovenia is it's surrounded by Austria, Hungary, Croatia and Italy.
Right.
So one of the first trips we went to Budapest because it was 4 hours in the car.
Yes.
And then from there we just went over to Vienna because it's only an hour, and then back to Ljubljana. And then we went to Croatia, in the end to Bosnia and Montenegro.
Yes.
And then I also had a friend from the first semester, she was in Ljubljana. And she was from Bratislava, and she said, come and visit me. It's only 5 hours on the bus, and there was a week off.
Yes.
So I went up to see her in Bratislava, and it was really nice because I went to stay with her.
Yes. And you've also got some plans, Holly, to see people later this summer.
Yeah.
Friends you met.
Yeah, in September I'm going to Slovakia, and then hopefully at some point to Madrid. I made a really good group of friends, and we said in Turkey next year we're gonna all meet there for a big reunion.
Yes, will that be your first time in Turkey?
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. So in terms of the socialising, that's very important, and just for getting links around Europe, because I feel that's where you're possibly heading for a career. You'd love to live and work on the continent somewhere.
Yeah. I loved experiencing the culture and being somewhere new, so I'm hoping after I graduate to move abroad again.
Yes.
And maybe do a master's abroad.
Yes. Holly, thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with us here, and I hope to hear more, certainly about your final year project in your last year at Cardiff. Thank you.
Thank you.